I mean, it's moments like that which is just cool. Yeah. That's what people want to see. It's a superhero film. I've seen this fight scene about 15 times now, and I lose every time. I've not won yet. I spent 10 years in Thailand kicking trees.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Rant, Stuntmen React. We've got an amazing show lined up for you today and an amazing guest in Mike Lambert, who is a stunt performer and fight coordinator. Thank you for coming, Mike, really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Amazing is probably a bit of an overestimation, but thank you, yeah.
Mike, can you give us a little bit of a highlights of your career?
Started when I was 21. And I'm 50 now. I grew up watching like all the Jackie Chan, Hong Kong movies, that kind of thing. And then I moved to Hong Kong when I was 21, worked with the usual, you know, like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, Sam Hung, all them guys.
Wow.
And then came back to England. I spent about 6-7 years in Hong Kong, came back to England, and then been doing that ever since, basically, yeah.
Amazing. And can you name some of the kind of projects you've got to work on over the years?
It's like trying to tell somebody your top 10 favourite records of all time. It's pretty hard. But then over the years, I worked on films such as like Casino Royale. I did X-Men 3, Gladiator,
nice.
Right up until like modern day films like Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. I've just done Marvel Eternals last year. Done quite a few films over my 28-year career, yeah.
Nice, nice. On that note, let's jump straight into the first clip.
Cool.
Okay, so the first clip we're looking at here is from Zack Snyder's Justice League, and this was the kind of sequence where the Amazonians are trying to escape Steppenwolf in Themyscira. First of all, what was your kind of role on this film overall? I
was lucky enough to be fight coordinator on it, and the person I'm working for, who is like a top stunt coordinator at the moment.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, normally the fight coordinator will work with conjunction with the stunt coordinator, and normally they'll get a briefing off like the director, they'll have a look at the script. And then Eunice, my boss, will come to me and say, okay, we're doing this sequence, blah, blah, blah. And we try to break it down and obviously try to think of some cool action that we can use. And on this one, because it was quite a big project, I mean, Zack Snyder is a great director, but we had 2 American fight coordinators as well, Freddie B and Matt Ruggetti. Okay. So what we kind of did, we just kind of all come together with these little scenarios, put together stunt vids, show them the director, and then he might cherry pick certain ideas, go, okay, that's cool, this is cool. Yeah. And pick, obviously he's not going to use every single idea, you know, it's like, you know, you get a handful of songs from somebody, hopefully one will hit. But for me, if at least one idea gets used, then that's cool. Nice. But this sequence in particular, I thought was way better than
the theatrical cut.
Yeah, the theatrical cut. This is just way more action, it's great. Obviously, massive use of digidoubles and everything, and I think, if I remember rightly, most of the horses were CG, I think. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I think they were, actually, yeah.
When you guys are putting together a sequence like this, what goes into it? What's the process? Like, how do you get from an idea to this kind of thing?
And just disclaim, obviously I didn't put together this entire sequence. This was a combination of many people's ideas and work, you know, and again, you're only as good as your team. We'd look at the script, and then they'd go, okay, for example, blah, 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 this happens, Steppenwolf kills a guy, at the end she catches an arrow, and as long as you fit them key pieces in, sometimes you've got free reign to do what you want, usually, nice. As long as you've got them like set pieces in there. But as you know, filmmaking, director might like one idea, might like 2, he might like them all, and then you do everything they like, and then it gets changed on the day, you know, so yeah, story of my life.
And I like the kind of the brutality.
That's cool.
The brutality. That's
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would say there's a lot of CGI horses in this sequence, but yeah. And then when he bunches all the horses together, well, like lops them across. Yeah. It makes it feel so strong, especially comparing it to the Amazonians being strong themselves.
Yeah.
And I think when you're watching action, the thing you want to see is something a bit different.
Yeah.
And so the idea of this being like a chase on horseback. It's something a bit different, not something you really ever see is like a good fighting.
Well, that's a great thing, because like I said, because I'm a massive fan of like CG and VFX, and because, I wouldn't say misspent, I mean that's cool, look, just stuff like that. Yeah. Because I was going to say misspent you playing video games, but no, I mean, he's played out well, and that's cool when you just go, and all the arrows snap. I mean, it's moments like that which is just cool. Yeah. That's what people want to see. It's a superhero film. But for me, it's using that combination of CG and VFX to get the best out of a sequence is the way forward. I mean, if you couldn't have done a sequence like this like 20 years ago with real horses. It just, I mean, you could do it with real horses, but are you going to get them doing moves like this?
Well, just the camera moves alone.
Exactly.
Are not real camera moves.
Exactly. What do we call it? The impossible camera, is it? Where you do a certain camera move which has got a blend of CG and real action, but it looks great.
Yeah.
The clip we're looking at now is from a film called Unleashed, starring Jet Li and Bob Hoskins, and it's probably one of my favourite films from my teenage years growing up. And the clip we're looking at involves Mike. And so, Mike, tell us a bit about what you had to do.
Yeah, I was just thinking, who is that guy? And it's me. I just realised, I was like, yeah, and you know what? I've seen this fight scene about 15 times now, and I lose every time. I've not won yet. I went out to France. I remember Luc Besson walking in to the screen test, and he was like, okay, just put a few moves together, got me to fight this other stunt guy just to see if I can still move as good as I used to when I was back in the day.
Yeah.
And he basically said, okay, you've got the part, so you're going to be playing this, one of the main bad guys, and got this pretty cool fight with Jet at the end of the film. So I'm like, yep, I'm in, great stuff. So yeah.
Amazing. I mean, cool fight is an understatement.
Oh no, thank you. It's really funny actually, because obviously he said, do you mind shaving your head? I went, yeah, that's cool, are you paying me? He went, yeah. I said, I don't mind. But then he said, could I shave my eyebrows? I was like, oh, I can't shave my eyebrows. I mean, I've still got to go out at night, like for a few beers or something. So I'm like, I'll shave the head, but I'm not shaving the eyebrows. So that's why the eyebrows stayed on. There's hardly no rehearsal time here for me and Jet. Basically, they'd worked the fight out already. We go to set. I mean, Jet's a cool guy, but he'll rock up just with his slippers on in the morning, his bed head, smoking a cigarette, and he'll literally, he'll walk up, and then I'm there just in my tracksuit, and then the guy that knows my fight, and he's like, okay, first shot, boom, 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 do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, go through, okay, get changed. Do it again. Okay, roll cameras, go. So basically, each section we just learn
as you did it, sort of thing.
Yeah, as we did it. Basically,
wow.
That's what we did. So we didn't have the wire stuff as well. We didn't. It's not like in the West where, okay, we've got 2 weeks to rehearse that wire gag. Yeah. So going back, so the wire drop. The first part of it actually was Olivia, because we were shooting some other shots on the day. So to save time, I remember a B cam was shooting some of the things. But the last bit of it hitting the top of the car, that was me basically. They hung me there 15 foot on a wire, and they dropped me, just bomb released me,
really?
And then deaded the car. Yeah, from 15 foot, so flat drop straight to the top of the car.
When you say dead the car, what you mean is, so as you're about to hit it,
yeah.
Someone dets it so it folds in.
Special effects, yeah.
So you don't actually hit the thing. So
well, you do hit it, but it kind of
gives as you go.
Kind of a bit more forgiving.
But with that, obviously comes the element of you're relying on that person to hit that button at the right time, right?
Yeah, and if you don't, you're basically doing like a full front face plant from 15 feet. Yeah.
And these kicks where you're like just both kind of connected with the kicks with each other.
Yeah.
That must have required some real. I mean, obviously that's.
Yeah. How'd you do that without
timing and bang, bang, bang.
destroying your shins?
Yeah, we got pads on.
You got pads on.
Yeah,
right,
we got. I should have just gone. I've got really. I'm just really tough legs. I spent 10 years in Thailand kicking trees. But yeah, we just got like shin pads on.
Right.
Huge thanks for watching the show, guys. And personally, I've loved this episode. It's been really great getting Mike's insight. It's been really cool. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Thank you.
And make sure you join us next week, where we've got Mike back again, and he's going to be talking about his work on the Rise of Skywalker. Also, if you want to watch more episodes, check out the playlist. There's like 20 episodes on Screen Rant, and yeah, go check them out.